Hi, my name is Ruth Mavashis. I'm part of the Educational Psychology for Non-Teachers class online, and today I'm going to be doing my presentation on our Lesson 5 assignment, which is about assessing learners. So about the environment I observed, on Tuesday, November 14th, 2017, I observed Thunderbird High School's Naval Junior Reserve Officer Training Corps drill team practice. Drill teams at Thunderbird are teams that perform military drill, both armed and unarmed. NJRTC at Thunderbird is a student-run program, so every aspect of the unit is run by high schoolers ranging from 13 years old to 18 years old. Both the unarmed and armed teams have 10 active members. They make 3 squads of 3 elements, and the team commanders march outside of the formation as a separate entity. Team practice usually starts in the classroom where attendance is taken and important information is given out to the crew. The teams then transition to the field, and the team commander has the team run whichever routine they think they need most work on and customizes the practice to fix issues in whichever routine needs help. After each run-through of the routine, the formation breaks into a huddle and the debrief occurs. The way that the drill teams conduct their practices and the debriefs that they have are imperative to the learning process at NJRTC and why students gain leadership tools like discipline, dependability, responsibility, and more through drill. The assessment that occurs on the drill teams is mostly aligned with formative assessment, which is when learners use information from assessment to bridge the gap between what they can do and what they need to be able to do according to Hall. The NJRTC program requires everyone to take the class as an elective first, and they learn basic facing movements and marching there. The drill teams are an extracurricular activity in NJRTC where students learn more complicated maneuvers and come together to compete against all other 60-plus units in the state. In order to achieve their goal of state champions for the 6th year in a row, the teams use a learning system that enhances everyone's performance that involves learning formative assessment. Running the routines at the beginning and end of practice are the formative assessments done, and the debrief is where the feedback is given from the team commander to the group. Before the practice, the team commander has already made a game plan from the beginning of the season to the end of the competition. They go into every day knowing what they need to work on and conduct formative assessments every time that the team runs through the routines. They focus on alignment issues, timing, and other errors that the formation makes and then tells them their mistakes during the team huddle. The team commander will then have the formation go back to a specific part of the routine and physically show how the maneuver is supposed to look and answers any of the cadets' questions. After practicing this portion of the routine a few times, they'll redo the whole routine and fix other parts of the performance until the routine looks better at the end of practice than it did at the beginning. This type of debrief gives the formation knowledge of how to improve by giving specific focus on feedback on a few issues at a time, not just generalizing mistakes. Because when assessing learners, what is crucial is that assessors make explicit what learners need to improve on according to Hall. For example, the team commander will give feedback like, "Okay guys, while I was watching the routine, I'm seeing some consistent issues in a few areas. When we're doing Ed salutes, some people are off timing because they aren't as sharp as others. I see that everyone in the first and third squad are sharp, but the last 2 elements in the second squad are about half a beat off," and so on. This is a huge difference than saying, "Okay guys, there's a lot to fix. You need to be more sharp in the beginning, we look off. The middle part of the routine is too fast and the alignment was off towards the end." The clarification of feedback gives learners guidance and gives them an important sense of accomplishment when they correct their mistakes, rather than giving them unclear feedback that makes them feel like their effort does not correlate to improvement. When observing the team practice, there are a few concerns that could be formulated. One specific that stands out is why the assessor is not learning, seeing as they are giving all the feedback but are surely making mistakes themselves. Luckily, they are learning. At the end of practice, when the team is dismissed, or at the end of the week, the team commander receives separate debriefs from the cadets in the last element or from the instructors. The cadets who are in the last row or element have been on the team the longest, usually longer than the team commander, or have been in their position before, so they can give them specific feedback on the verbiage they use, the issues with a specific practice conducted, or maneuvers they aren't doing correctly. There is a cycle of learning and teaching going on in the program where each year a student learns valuable lessons in a new position, and then when someone new comes into the position, they refer back to their predecessor to be successful. This process being in place is something that I agree to be the most effective way to teach learners to drill and the most supportive way. Self-assessment and peer assessment are two strategies I find could be better implemented into the debriefs. Hall states that self-assessment and peer assessment are recommended for helping learners to understand and sometimes frame the criteria against which their work is judged. This means that having the formation have the opportunity to critique themselves and each other so new insight is brought into the group. For example, both teams can record themselves, rewatch the video, point out things that they need to focus on or areas of the routine that the formation agrees does not look good. Peer assessment, I believe, can sometimes be difficult to manage since high schoolers are still developing teenagers. A way to promote peer assessment without hurting feelings can be to teach specific verbiage to the group when evaluating different people. Rather than saying someone's name or giving vague feedback, using the position's names and specific advice portrays the feedback effectively. For example, a cadet saying, "When we're doing our right flank after the halt, I noticed that the last element's alignment was off as a whole. So a way we can fix that is making sure before we halt we aren't rushing so our spacing isn't off." That provides more information than other cadets can still apply and improve, rather than the last element is off a lot, you guys need to align better. Having positive feedback given by self-assessment or peer assessment by watching videos or by watching each other can vastly benefit the team debrief because they encourage cadets to set targets for themselves, to monitor and describe their own progress, and to consider their achievement in relation to evidence according to Hall. So overall, that's what I noticed about the environment that I observed today. I think that the program at NJROTC really encourages students to work and to teach and to learn effectively. And that concludes my presentation. I hope you enjoyed.